Okay, stripes on golf balls. We've seen them now for a number of years. TaylorMade have really kind of been the pioneer of it. But in the more recent years, they've only ever put them on the Tour Response, which isn't their premium ball. But now they have. They've put this on, a TP5. And I honestly think that looks fantastic. Like, it really does. For someone who lines the golf ball up like I do, I'm a huge fan of that. So I'm going to test this TP5 today with the stripe on it. On the putting green, naturally, it's where you most often use the stripe benefits. I've also got some data from GC Quad back at the H.I.T studio. I'm also going to go out on the golf course and test the stripe, because the one criticism I've had in the past, certainly when it's multicoloured stripes, is I don't like when it doesn't sit straight. Let's see if that's eradicated because it's now just the white and black edition. TP5 stripe. Let's give it a review. So as I mentioned, naturally I am someone who lines my golf ball up when putting. I personally think it's very beneficial. I know not everybody does, I get that, but I certainly am a big fan of that. I would say it's probably 50-50 compared to how many people line it up and don't. The benefit of this is I just feel like you've got those kind of three lines all running parallel to each other that's almost more like a bowling alley going towards the hole. Like, you're not just reliant on one singular stripe. Well, I've just put that down, instantly I know it's correct. Come have a look at this, come and have a look down that line there. Hopefully it picks up on camera. In fact, I'll probably leave the flag in so you can see it a bit easier. Like, that to me, and this is pretty much a dead straight putt, that to me looks absolutely perfect. Like, it's simple, because then if you stay there, I feel like I can just line my putter up. I can run those lines kind of perpendicular to the front of my putter face, and all I feel like I need to do then is hit it along that line. As long as it's put straight, which I think it is. I actually slightly pushed it, but you can see how the line just kind of rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled. I just think, personally for me, lining it up and lining up that simple, because you've got the solid black line going through. Obviously you've got the TaylorMade logo that splits it up and where it says TP5 splits it up. But you've got lots of place where there's actually just a solid line. And you've got these like not dimpled, almost spotted effect lines down the barrier. Apparently a lot of research has gone into that, how to make it easy to line up. Just doesn't look right if it's not straight. Let's hit a few more putts and see if there's any challenges we face. It just gives me instant confidence. I just know it's aiming correctly, which I love. And the fact they've put it now on a premium ball in the TP5, I really do think it's a game changer. Good putt. Just moved off a little bit. It's just like that. I love it. Let me see if you can see that line. I'll put towards the camera and you'll probably be able to see that line. So I'm going to just try and hit it straight towards the camera lens there. And hopefully you can just see the line just rolling perfect. Little bit of a wobble. I mean, to some degree, it's almost like a training aid. Because I know if that line's wobbling a little bit, maybe I've not hit it perfect. Because in theory, that line shouldn't wobble at all. That's maybe telling me I'm not hitting it absolutely perfect. Let's see if we can get it to roll end over end. That's better. Oh, it's reassuring. It really is. Now, this TaylorMade stripe in the TP5 also now comes in the TP5X. I've been in the studio and tested the two golf balls with sand wedge 7-irons and drivers. Actually, the results are really, really solid. Perfect distance. there's very little differences, very little in fact. Certainly on full shots, I don't feel any difference. Spin rates is really good with both, so I hit the sand wedge, and both of them had spin rates of over 11,000 RPM, which is really high for a 100-yard sand wedge. 7-iron I was carrying around the perfect number, 175, 177 yards. The spin rate again on the TP5 standard was just a little bit more, it generates a little bit more spin. And then with the driver, again seeing similar numbers, I was carrying them both in that kind of 270, mid 270 range. Spin rate wise, the actual, interestingly for me testing, the TPX standard version with driver actually spun a bit less. So it's, I would definitely gravitate towards me using TP5, prefer the feel, numbers seem to match up, I like a little bit more spin. And I know I've only done a few little putts, but I honestly think so many golfers would really benefit from that stripe. The one thing we need to do is take it out on the golf course and just see, first off, what's it like lining up on a hole, and also what happens if it just aims randomly, because that could be a big issue. Okay, you know what's interesting? Off a tee, I wouldn't line the ball up. Like, that's something that naturally the stripe ball wants you to. I actually prefer having zero logo, almost seeing nothing. But with this, I'm inclined to kind of line it up a bit more. What I do like, and I used to use this loads when I was coaching full time, if I wanted a player to try and hit more from the inside of the golf ball, I would actually line the logo up more on the inside and get them to try and hit on the inside of the golf ball, almost completely changing the path. Likewise, if I had someone who hooked it too much, I wanted to hit more from the outside, I actually moved the line on the ball to try and get them hit from the outside. I think that's a benefit. I think using a stripe like this could really benefit a golfer if they're trying to change the path. Now for me, I'm trying to hit a little bit more from the outside. So I've just aimed at a fraction down the left. It's not overly off-putting. I don't love it on a tee. I don't love it, but I could play with it. It's not totally offensive. Certainly in this colorway where it's just white ball with the black detailing, so much more manageable than the multicolored golf balls. I think that really distracted my mind, where that seems, you know, fairly simple. I'm aiming it just a tiny bit up the left, just to encourage a little bit of an outside path. Oh, it's down the fairway. I'm not quite sure how. Wasn't my best swing, but it's down the middle of the fairway. Okay, after a good tee shot, found the fairway. This was one of the things that I really wanted to find out with this golf ball. How distracting is it when it's not aimed correctly straight? Like, certainly with the colour ones, I feel like when that's not aiming straight, it just feels really distracting. I don't know what it is. It might just be me. I get that. It just seems really distracting. With this, I'm not as offended because I've used the black line on my golf ball for so long. Like, you do get this. And because really it's just 3 black lines to some degree. It's not perfect, I'll be honest, but it's not horrendous. Yeah, I could play with that. I didn't top it. I fatted it a bit. Okay, 76 yards, over a bunker, out the rough. Need this to stop quick. Stop quick and get close. Oh, yes, we love that. Very nice. Okay, you know what? Out the rough from 76 yards, that stopped really quick. Before I hold this putt for birdie, just want to kind of give my thoughts on this stripe, TP5 stripe. Like I said, they're not the only golf ball to do this. You've got like Callaway triple track, for argument's sake. And I remember not that long ago, you could get the triple track putters as well, where I had the lines on top. They might still do them, but I did like that. I think the only thing, I'm personally maybe not the biggest fan of chrome soft golf balls. I never really give them a serious consideration for being like a competitive Pro V1. I feel like TP5 is a ball that's a real competitor to Pro V1. So to have a golf ball that's in that kind of caliber. Now granted, something to note, for a dozen of these, £50. That is more expensive than the Pro V1, about £3 a box more expensive, which, wow, that is pricey. I like the feel, I like the performance. I'm a much bigger fan of this kind of stripe than I am of the triple track as such. And even just the TP5 ball itself. I know it's personal opinion, but I think the TP5 is a better ball. Make sure you like and subscribe. Well, if I make this birdie, who knows? The TP5s might get into the bag. You idiot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. You got to hit the ball, Rick.